Okay, so let's start to get in the mood. We have some chill music. So you can even hear the sea, the waves. Isn't that perfect? For those who don't know, are you guys okay if I remind you of the suggestions I had forwarded to the developers? Because maybe some of you guys do not know about that. So a bit of context, shall we? For those who don't know, 2 weeks ago, I believe, we had the anniversary. And I was quite pissed, to say the least, right? Let me be clear that the main issue for me is not necessarily the prices. The prices are something that only concerns some players. But the way the anniversary was made was, to me, like, too much. You know, that's like the... how do you say that in English again? I think you said the last straw that broke the camel's back. Yeah, thank you, TJ. That made me want to actually make, you know, this suggestion, because for those who don't know, I've seen many people, you know, over the year say, you know, but why don't you push more things to the developers, etc. The thing is, I used at least to have some contact with the CMs, the community team, and the devs to some extent. So basically, I always pushed my suggestions and feedback privately through DMs on Discord or on the moderator chat, which I left, by the way, after the anniversary, for those who don't know. So I never needed to express myself through videos, because for me that's a last resort. I do not want to put pressure through drama videos or whatever you want to call them, you know? I don't like that. So I made suggestions which talked about things that the devs have ignored for the past few months now, and things that we have pushed over and over and over again, either mods or players, through the top contributor chat. So it's very important background, and was deliberately ignored. And that's why I was pissed, is that if you want to serve me an anniversary with only shops and no event, why not? But at least have a good game before you do so, okay? That's why I was pissed. It's like, how dare you, you know, ignore us and then serve us some kind of half-cooked anniversary. So these are my suggestions. There are 8 points. I'll just give you a quick recap, especially because this will be turned into a video eventually. So the context is important. So these are the points I addressed in my video, which, by the way, they did not like at all. And they told me specifically, we will address most of these points in the dev column. So that's why I'm waiting a lot on this dev column, but we'll see. So my first point was that rewards are too stingy and outdated. I think we can all agree on that. You know, basically my point was that rewards were extremely low in value, discourages free-to-plays. Most of the rewards right now are irrelevant or too old, you know, like World Boss. Who does World Boss anymore, right? And I also point out the fact that some events have been removed, like Elaine's Glory, Battlefield Survivor, Lost Borderlands. I gave examples like healing speedups are critically short in supply, training speedups are lacking, and with a game where we lose troops weekly, we need to have these resources, otherwise we cannot enjoy the game. And I give solutions: scale rewards based on server age, make events rewards competitive and motivating for all levels of players, because right now Krakens don't even need to play the game, right? This is the only game where some players do not need to play a single day in the week and still shit on you during the weekend. So, and then I say why it helps. Having better rewards encourages free-to-plays, shows that game values its community time, etc. Second point, rally system is outdated and unbalanced, with the issue being that they can be taken down by one single strong march, especially since level 140 heroes have been added to the game. This undermines alliance strategy and rally coordination, and even threatens the sole purpose of having rallies to begin with. So example, a single Cyrus can destroy a rally in under a minute. Rather than focusing on one Kraken killing rallies, it should be like a team effort to take down rallies through counter-rallying, so you can manage to have, you know, stronger rally buffs. Point 3, city swarming is an issue, because right now, whether you play GEE, MEE, Desolate Desert, you can just swarm cities and call it a day. You don't need to focus about the event, actual objectives anymore. Like, it doesn't matter. And there is no way to prevent it aside from bubbling. But if your gameplay is to bubble, then you're not playing a game. You're playing an AFK simulator. So 1 or 2 players can entirely dominate events by outscoring an entire server through zeroing. Mercenaries do not apply to garrisons, leaving defenders weaker than attackers. Zeroing should be a mean to get someone out of an event, not a way to outscore in events. And it should be made more difficult, as it is the case in every single other game. So I suggested some solutions, reducing event points through city zeroing, strengthening garrison massively on alliance territory, like Rogue does, like Thief does, emphasizing objectives over fucking zeroing. Yes, like basically add objectives or capture zones, because the more objectives you will add on the map, the less you will have to focus on zeroing, especially if the objectives themselves give more points than zeroing. That's the whole point. And when you have more objectives, you will have more fighting spots that will naturally create themselves. Just like when they introduced Guardians in GEE, you started to see some small fights here and there on the map, spontaneous fights, right? I think you've all experienced that. That's what it should be. A 4th point: migration and serve merges should need to be smarter and more frequent. The issue I have with migrations is that spots are fixed, which is the laziest possible way to do things. And when spots are fixed, that means that the stronger remain strong and that the weaker remain weak. There is no possibility to get stronger through migration, because the strongest will still be strong and the weaker will still be weak anyway. Because like, if you get 70 spots and the strongest gets 50, then what, it doesn't matter, you won't be able to beat them. It needs to be a percentage based, migration. So a server with 10% of the bracket's active population gets the same migration slots as one with 3%, as long as they're not in the top 3 or 4 servers. Dead servers cannot rebuild effectively, and this prevents any proper creation of projects. So then I propose an algorithm-based migration system. Point 5. And I think, honestly, this is something I have been pushing for so fucking long, bro. I have been pushing for this, I swear to God, for more than a year right now. Hero releases are too frequent and exacerbate the gap between players. I don't think I'm alone here. And I say this as a spender. Releasing 5 to 7 heroes every 3 months isn't sustainable for most players and widens the gap between spenders and free-to-plays. The game has plenty of features where players are differentiated. Rings, gems, gear, horses, adornments, technology, castle facilities, rings, skills, etc. There is no need to make heroes another gap-creating feature. We believe there are more than enough ways for players who spend to create a difference between themselves and others. I think this is extremely important. Why do they need to make heroes so expensive, brother? Why? They already make millions through rings, gems, horses, adornments. All of this is extremely expensive. So they could either, return universal medals through hero resets, slow down hero release, reduce hero wheel cost. That would be a very good example. It costs roughly 1 million Imperium coins to max a hero right now, which is like $2,000. And increase universal medals accessibility, I think, is also a very important point. Like, I don't think they realize how predatory their current wheel system is. So you guys tell me if you think this is, stupid or not, but I think this is pretty much on point regarding heroes. Point 6, which I have been fighting for as well. Communication between devs and players must improve. Currently, most communication comes from a single community manager. Feedback often feels like it disappears into the void. Dev columns are inconsistent and tend to talk about what has been done the past month instead of focusing on what's to come and what feedback has been heard. A suggested solution: create more structured Q&As opportunities, rebuild the CM's team presence and activity. And then point 7 and 8, I'll go through them quickly. Matchmaking instead Matchmaking in Stellar Seasons is broken. I believe you've all experienced that. Matchmaking in Stellar is bad. Like, you always have like 2 to 4 active servers and then the rest is basically dead. So it's not funny. It's not funny for the ones who are active, and it's not funny for the ones who are on the lower end of activity. It's not funny. And then Kingdom server players must be heard and respected and be allowed to migrate to global. So I don't know if all of these will be addressed or if all of these will be heard. But I hope. So let's see. Let's jump right in with the dev column. Let's first have an analysis, okay? Let's analyze the the reactions. Okay, we have 140 KWs, we have 77 vomit. We have 77 thumbs downs. Okay. Dear governors, October's dev column is here as scheduled. This month, we celebrate an incredible milestone, Age of Empires Mobile's first anniversary. Thank you so much for your continued companionship. This, I swear to God, this was not intended. Companionship and support. We've also been closely monitoring feedback and suggestions from governors in our community. That's why we'll provide focused responses to some of your feedback in this column. Let's take a look together at this column and see if there's anything that interests you. Event rewards in terms of quality and value are gradually falling behind in the current game environment. We hope that event item reward outputs are optimized to match the consumption rate of resources in the current game environment. Okay. So far, this is one of the points we've addressed. Answer. Our team has noticed Governor's extensive feedback regarding event rewards and has already begun making adjustments. Okay. In the next version, we'll adjust the merit store first. Okay. The merit store reset time will be adjusted to 1 stellar... Ah, okay. This is pretty good. Will be adjusted to 1 stellar glory season. Okay. Thank God for that. Holy smokes. Limited to servers in Season 2 or beyond. Giving governors more time to accumulate merit and exchange for items in the store. Okay, this is actually pretty good. Let's read part 2. Due to the extended reset time, the exchange limits for various items in the store will also increase, while the merits reset time will also be extended. New items will also be added to the store, such as healing speed-ups. So this is pretty good. This is actually very good. Regarding event rewards, we plan to further increase rewards for various cross-server gameplay modes, including various cross-server... Okay, this is good. To encourage governors to participate in these events. This is good, but is it entirely on point? I'll give my thoughts on that. So, it's true, like, you guys have perhaps noticed that they already increased Desolate Desert reward. They have, like, doubled the amount of universal medals in Desolate Desert. So it's good that they improve cross-server events. But the whole point of my suggestions was not only PvP cross-server events. You need to encourage your people to get into the game, you know, daily, to give them, you know, to make them want to log into the game even weekly, you know, like things such as World Boss, Trojan Turmoil, Tower, the Tower game or whatever. Like, this also needs to be improved. Some stuff in there has not been changed since the release of the game, right? Like, if you look at world bosses, for instance, you know, the world bosses, the thing that everyone skips. The world bosses have not been changed since the actual beta servers. So, to me, this is good, but it needs to go beyond, I think. So, merit store, this is excellent. Even if healing speedups are already in the merit store, that is very true. Event rewards not only need to be KVK and cross-server battlefield rewards, they also need to address your server's rewards weekly. Trojan Turmoil. Like, in my opinion, all events should be of the same quality as Treasure Hunt. Treasure Hunt is an amazing event. And you should be rewarded for participating. And I want to emphasize on that. If you participate, your time must be valued. Wow, okay. Mercenary technology currently does not function in city garrison. So this has been the main point I have been pushing forward for maybe 1 month or 2 months now, because I believe it is completely stupid, okay? There's no other way to say it. It is stupid that your mercenaries are like taking a break. Like you're fucking defending your city. You know what? Okay, I will show you this, guys. You will rate this out of 10, okay? I was planning on making a video about it. And this was supposed to be the the thumbnail for the video. Give it a 10, give it a note, guys, give it a rank, a rate, sorry. Because, yes, if you are defending your city, your garrison has no mercenaries. I swear to God. So when you are being attacked, your enemy will have mercenaries. But if you defend, you have no mercenaries. And this is stupid, like, it's like your soldiers go on vacation whenever you get attacked or zeroed, you know? Like, you know, like, oh, I'm being attacked, no, I'm just a mercenary, you know, you're not paying me for defending this shit, so you're alone in your castle. Okay, so in the next version, we plan to optimize our mercenary technology tax effect. After optimization, mercenary technology will directly apply to corresponding unit types. Ah, thank fucking God for that. And therefore, bonuses from mercenary technologies will also take effect during city garrison. Ah, thank fucking God for that, man. Ah, this is good. This is very good. I'm glad about that. I take this as a small victory, I'm not gonna lie. I'm very happy about that. So there's still 2 more pages. So let's see if the cake W's are about these 2 pages. But so far, this is very good. Oh wow. Okay, this is pretty big. What new changes will migration events have? Okay, so that's the third point they address, migration. First, launching migration events requires evaluations of server activity and governor feedback. I think feedback, we have given it so far. Currently, the team has noted that many governors are expecting a new round of migration events, and we plan to do so in December. The biggest change in this migration is that we will reshape the current server positionings, allowing kingdom servers, commonly called my job is done, guys. I have been fighting for this. I didn't think it would be done. If there's one thing I'm proud about, this is this. I swear to God, I have been fighting for this shit for literal months. Unlike the previous events, where kings were forced to become kingdom administrators and couldn't migrate, this time the kingdom administrator will be the alliance leader of the alliance with the highest power, and will announce in advance which alliance will receive administrator permissions, giving governors sufficient time to select their administrator of choice. Okay, this is pretty good too. Additionally, the range of servers eligible for migration events will be expanded. Okay, I guess they mean that more servers will be like server maybe up to 300 or something, I don't know. After the next migration event, Kingdom servers and Empire servers will be able to freely match each other in the same battle zone during Stellar Glory. This is very good. Please closely monitor community announcements for detailed migration rules. Okay, so the rules are yet to come. This is actually pretty nice. Basically, they said they will change things, but it has yet to be discovered or announced, is how I understand it. Okay, so far this is pretty good. So of course, like I said, we do not have more news about the rules of migration, nor about the cost. But if migration is in December, which by the way is excellent news, migration in December is excellent news. Then, because that means we'll have migration during the week after Stellar Glory, I assume. So far this is pretty good. I am waiting to know more about the so-called rules. They will change, okay? But so far this is 3 on 3. Okay, let's see the next side. We hope some classic side gameplay from the past, such as Battlefield Survivor, can be brought back. Thank you very much for your love of side gameplay. First, we'd like to explain that the Battlefield Survivor gameplay was designed more as an aid to help governors quickly familiarize themselves with game mechanics. What? What do you mean? Like, Battlefield Survivor helps you if you want to become better at Vampire Survivors. It does not help you if you want to be good on PvP. What? This has nothing to do with game mechanics. Okay. And accumulate early development resources. Yes, okay. So it was only meant to be available during the early stages of new servers. However, the development team is always continuously adding new elements to the gameplay, and we are considering bringing it back after a period of time. If governors prefer the rich rewards of Battlefield Survivor events, the team may also try creating more side content with similar reward values to keep things fresh for everyone. Like, okay, it's nice if they bring it back, but that's not one of the main issues the game has, you know what I mean? So why not? I guess it's a bit like... One of the thing I'm most startled by is like this, like... The Battlefield Survivor gameplay was designed more as an aid to help governors quickly familiarize themselves with game mechanics. Like I would have preferred if they actually added, what's it called? Lost Borderlands. Okay, we have 3 remaining points. Let's have a look. Matchmaking. Okay, this is the fourth point I mentioned. And this is another point I mentioned here. Okay, they do talk about rallies. Okay, so they address 5 points about... Okay, this is not bad. Okay, let's see. The current matching mechanism is too unbalanced and needs to be improved. Adjusting the matching mechanism. The matching mechanism is something the development team has been continuously working on. This is true. This much is true. They have improved matchmaking, whether we like it or not. It has been improved over time. The current matching mechanism takes multiple factors into consideration, including but not limited to server active player count, time zones. Although the team has been doing its best to optimize the matching rules, the matching results will inevitably have variance that leads to different individual experiences. We apologize for this and thank you for your understanding. Okay. I guess this is kind of fair. So we have 4 events, 2 MEEs, 2 GEEs, plus 1 Desolate Desert. Every time, out of the 4 MEE plus GEE, we are always matched with 1 server from the bottom of the Stellar Glory season, even if you're on the top. Which means that, let's say you're first in your Stellar Glory season, you will face number 2, 3, and 4, and then randomly you will match top 12 for no reason. This has always happened to me for the past 2 Stellar Glory seasons. Okay, so what do they say afterwards? The team is still exploring optimization directions for future matching mechanisms. Yes, okay. We have some ideas to share with governors, but please note that this is not the final direction we've decided on. We are sharing this in the hopes of hearing feedback. Yes, please do. Again, I have said this 1,000 fucking times. People are more likely to wait if you talk to them and if they know what they're waiting for. Yes, share with us. One direction we are considering is to add a new comprehensive scoring mechanism to the matching system. Servers will be rated based on their performance in Stellar Glory, and the system will prioritize matching servers the same tier. So this is good. If the base ranking based on Stellar score, this is exactly what they need to do. And the system will prioritize matching servers of the same tier during Stellar Glory Battle Zone matching. This is pretty good, honestly. I believe if they match servers based on Stellar Glory score and player activity, and again, score in Stellar Glory is a direct reflection of player activity. This is pretty good, and we should have better Stellar Glory matchmaking at least, or better Stellar Glory brackets at least. This is pretty close to what I had suggested, which is match people based on their server activity and Stellar Glory score, because your rank, again, does not reflect your activity. But I think this is a step in the right direction. I'm not saying this is perfect, okay? This is a good step towards balance. And we need to also highlight the fact that they actually address it. The most important fact is acknowledgement. Doing this is them saying, okay, we have issues, and we are acknowledging it. We are willing to somewhat fix it. And the fact that they say we are sharing this in the hopes of hearing feedback. This is one of the first times, we need to highlight that, this is one of the first times they share plans. Currently, due to huge power gaps between players, some powerful governors can even defeat multiplayer rally troops, seriously undermining the game's strategic nature. This is exactly the word I use, by the way. Or their optimization directions for improving rally battle power. So, okay, optimizing rallies. The development team has noticed, well, okay, it's good that they noticed it, that there are overwhelmingly powerful governors who can defeat entire groups by themselves. From a game design perspective, we still strive to preserve the strategic nature of combat in the game. Great. Therefore, in the future, we will most likely enhance overall rally troop power through methods like increasing rally troops capacity to increase the odds of victory when challenging powerful opponents. Okay. Additionally, the team will continue providing more interesting gameplay content, increasing the amount of objectives that encourage governor cooperation and strengthening the game's focus on strategic gameplay. What does that have to do with rallies? Oh, I'm missing some. What? I don't see the link with rallies, but okay. The team will continuously monitor the effects of these adjustments and evaluate subsequent adjustments. More rally cap means more activity needed, that is true, yeah. So, this is the easy fix. I would have preferred if they added maybe some alliance technologies to improve rallies. Because if you make rally troops with a higher capacity, you don't address the issue of counter-rallying, which are too long, take too long to form. In my opinion, the best thing you can do is increase rally tankiness through technology. We'll see where it goes, but I don't think it's gonna be... I think troop capacity alone is not the ultimate fix, but I guess we'll see. Can you give us spoilers about future content? Yes, let's talk about two features that governors are quite concerned about. In the next version, we expect to update preset troops. Ah, good. And self-service position application functions. It's a very complicated word. Self-service position application functions, okay? The preset troop feature will help governors prepare troops in advance and apply them to official troop slots with one click when needed. Preset troops can save multiple troop presets, and governors can categorize troops through various preset tags for easy identification of the preset's purpose. This will take effect after the king adjusts the corresponding settings. The system will automatically grant positions according to the king's settings based on governor's application order in sequence and at scheduled times. Besides these features, the next version will have more content and optimization update. Okay. Okay. This is pretty good. Alright. So what do I think? What can we say as a conclusion? A couple of things, actually. First, it shows that maybe I should do more videos but where I complain instead of reaching out privately. Or maybe they got their lesson and they will finally, you know, listen without needing a video. But second of all, and I want to make this clear, we should not and we should never consider things normal just because the industry does it. I have heard too many times, but this is a mobile game, what did you expect? If you're not happy, leave. Every mobile game does that. Whenever something's not normal, we should point it out. Because everyone else does it, doesn't mean we should accept it. No, like, we need to be consistent. When something is trash, it needs to be called out. Simple as that. When something is not working, it needs to be highlighted. Even if the game is free to play, and specifically because the game is heavily pay-to-win oriented, we should not accept it. As a consumer, it is our right, and especially as gamers, like, when we don't like something, we point it out, even if we believe it will not have any impact, even if we believe they won't change it, that doesn't matter. This here, they have addressed 5 or 6 points of the entire suggestion list we did. I'm saying we, because I didn't make it for me. I made it because it represents what I believe are main community concerns and what I believe are main game issues that need to be addressed for the game to be better. And you can see I do not mention a single point about the spending aspect, because the spending aspect is secondary, in the sense that if the game is balanced at first, then spending will not be as much of an issue. So this works, okay? This needs to be clear. Then, what do I think about the dev column itself? First thing first, and I want to emphasize on that, this is just a dev column. This is not a patch note. So, as long as we do not see it written on a patch note, these are just words, okay? Even if these are very well written words, even if this is very encouraging, even if I didn't have to drink my bottle of bleach here. However, we must not leave, we must not forget the fact that these are just dev columns. And as long as we do not see effects on a patch note, this is not worth anything. There are some very weird things, like talking about Battlefield Survivor being, I don't know, like, I even forgot what they said, but like this is useless. But overall, the dev column is pretty good and I'm quite happy with it, mostly because it addresses like 5 or 6 out of the 8 suggestions we forwarded and we liked as a community. This will be my closing words, I think, is that this type of communication dev column must not be a one-time thing. This must be consistent. This type of dev column is quite good because it addresses actual issues. It addresses feedback. They give spoilers and future content, you know, like views or whatever. So this needs to be what we should have monthly in dev columns, addressing feedback from the feedback section. Hopefully this is the beginning of, you know, AOEM taking things a bit more seriously. And AOEM, you know, willing to improve their communication and being more consistent on their updates and more consistent on how they listen to our feedback and how they consider it as well. So I wish you guys a good day. Thank you for being here. You are a lot as well again today. So yeah, have a good day, guys. I wish you the best.